Yo, what's good, fam? Look, if you watching this and you clicked on here and you struggling, you got a lot of shit going on in your life, you don't feel good about yourself or where you at right now, this video is specifically for you because I want to talk to you from somebody who's going through it myself. And I figured like maybe something here can add value to somebody who's dealing with something or going through something. Which is why today I want to talk about self-care and why it's so important to have that dialed in while you're trying to figure this thing out called life. And the thing is, it's so important to make sure you have self-care because that's what's going to keep you grounded when you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, when you're trying to learn how to love yourself, when you're trying to learn how to create the life that you want to live. A lot of you all are at a point where you may be trying to make ends meet or try and create a better life for yourself. That's not easy, and there's a lot that comes with it, which is why it's so important to give yourselves grace and to practice that self-love and self-care. And I'm telling you from personal experience, like I'm not one of those ones that's gonna get on here and project as if everything is all perfect and cookie cutter clean. No, I got my shit rocked this week. I've been getting my shit rocked the past month or so, as I've been in a transition period. And I want you to know, like, one thing that I've learned from that is to give yourself grace when you're trying to become somebody you've never been before or accomplish something you've never accomplished before. And I know somebody here can relate. You may be trying to get in better shape. You may be trying to get off of advice that's been, controlling you for years or whatever the case is. You may be trying to create a better lifestyle, whether that's a business, a job, whatever the case is. And you're trying to create better for yourselves. And I want you to understand self-love and self-care is giving yourself grace. Like, you know what, fam, I know you working hard. I know you're trying to make this happen. I know this is new, but you know what? You got it. You're enough no matter what this looks like, no matter if things are perfect, no matter if you're struggling. I love you and you're enough. Those are things that you have to tell yourself and to feed into yourself. That's what self-care is. All it boils down to is treating yourself as if you are assigned to take care of this person and make sure this person has everything that they need physically, spiritually, emotionally. And that's something that's you, basically. You're assigned to you. It's your job. Some people may have kids and you may be focused and thinking about providing all these things for your kids. Well, you're one of your kids too, because you have an inner child. And if you don't give yourself the things that you need, it's going to show. And it's so important to practice that self-care. And I'm telling y'all from experience, as somebody, if you're not new here, I'm in the early process of building a business, getting my fitness back on track after having a month and a half of challenges that affected my health and my regimen, and just learning to be patient with myself through all of that and talk to myself kindly. So I want you all to know it's important to talk to yourself kindly too. Meaning if there's a thought or if it's something that you wouldn't tell your child or somebody that you care about, that you don't say it to yourself. Anything that's going to bring emotional pain, negativity, or anything along those lines, we don't do it. It's point blank period, because like I said, words have power, thoughts have power. Everything you do is based off of your thoughts and how you feel about yourself. And your words are tied to your thoughts and how you feel about yourself. So those are negative. You're going to have negative feelings. And if you have negative feelings, you're going to take negative actions or actions that don't support how you want life to look and how you want that to feel. So you got to make sure that you have those things on point. That's why I like to call these things that I do vibe checks. And that's something that I want you all to do if you don't do. And all that is you're measuring your mental state, you're measuring your thoughts, observing your thoughts, and you're measuring your actions. You're measuring how you feel. Your mental state, your emotional state, how you feel, your thoughts, and then the things that you're doing based off of those things. Because based off of those things, that's going to tell you where you at in regards to where you want to go. And it's important to be able to know, like the back of your hand, what you want your life to look like, what you want it to feel like, where you want to be, what you want to be doing, all of it. Because throughout the days, throughout the week, throughout the weeks, and so on, you're going to have things that happen, and it's going to be your job to make sure that you do this vibe check where you're checking yourself. You're looking at your thoughts. You're looking at how you feel, your emotional state. You want to look at your belief system. What do you really believe? And then look at the things that you're doing and ask yourself, would the person that I want to be, would they be doing what I'm doing right now? Would they feel how I feel right now? Would they have the mindset and the thoughts that I have right now? And if the answer is no, then you know you got work to do. And if it is, then you know you're in alignment with where you're trying to go. And all you have to do from there is to try and sustain what you already are. And then eventually your life will become that if you're doing the things that line up with what it is you want. And it's so important to do those things. And I'm saying that because it's easy to forget. Like for me, example, having to abruptly move locations, new environment, things that kind of will test my resolve to see if I'm going to stick to the plan. It's going to challenge my beliefs and my faith that, you know what, I'm enough and I'm capable of doing what it is I said I was doing. And you get tested on all of these things. I'm telling you, like the minute you say that you really want a better life and you want to clean up certain things, you want to do things differently, whatever the case is, God and life is going to test you to see if you really that person, if you really want it. That's why it never just comes simply. So I want you to understand, with all of that being said, why it is very important to make sure that you practice self-love and self-care while you're on your journey. Every day, that's an everyday thing. Just like how you get up, you take a shower, you get up, you brush your teeth, you don't go a day without eating, all of these things that are just daily necessities. This has to become a daily necessity too, practicing self-care and self-love. And another thing, you deserve that. You are worthy of that. I don't know if you've heard that before, or this is your first time hearing, but if you haven't, you got to understand, if nothing else bar one, you are worthy and deserving of having a life of all of these things that you want. Financial abundance, peace, freedom of choice to go where you want, to travel, to have the time to do what it is you want out of your life, not putting it someplace where you have to do because you have whatever obligations for survival. But it's your birthright. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's practicing, reminding myself that, you know what, that's your right to be able to live a life of peace and prosperity. We're the only creatures that don't do that. No other animal that you look around, they don't worry about certain things. They just are what they are, because it's instinct. And for us, it's natural for us to be just naturally who we are. That's why when we worry about being accepted, we worry about our safety and security, if we're going to have enough. We worry about money. We worry about approval. We worry about all of these different things. It never feels good because we were never supposed to worry about these things. So I say all of that to say, if anybody can relate to any of these things, I'm here for you. I just wanted to share space and time with you to let you know that you are not alone. I'm right here with you. I'm just Big Bro. If you struggling with anything as far as self-esteem, you have issues around anything that I mentioned here with self-worth, self-love and self-care, you working on yourself and just trying to be the best of you, and you need help in any of these areas, I have a community that I created specifically to help people in these areas, just to clean up whatever it is to help you become the best version of yourselves. It's called the Lifestyle Buffet. If that's something that sounds like it resonates with you, the information will be in the description below. Just click that link and I'll see you on the other side if that aligns. And if you also are interested in working one-on-one, you need one-on-one help, I do offer one-on-one coaching as well. And if that's something that you may be interested in, you can email me or DM me over on Instagram, and we can talk about it. Because I'm just here to help anybody as much as I can and to help you be the best versions of yourselves. What I wish I had somebody to help me with. So before I get out of here, I want you to say I appreciate you. I want to tell you that I appreciate you sharing space with me, supporting this platform, showing love, any of it. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't, and share this to somebody that may need this or can benefit from this information. And I want you to know and remind you that, look, where you go and what you do in your life, that's 100% all on you, fam. You're enough, and I promise you got it. So I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And until next time, peace and love.